Today I'm going to show you how to create some shapes using the Scratch program. When you start up, this is your standard layout. So first thing we want to do, we want to get some motion, get the cat to move. So we just click on your motion block and we'll just drag across and move 10 steps. If you click on that, you'll see your cat just moves a simple 10 steps. We've got 50 and you'll see it move a lot greater. So I've got 100, which should be about right. We'll use that for today. If we start by making a square, we'll need to move some corners. So what we've got here, we've got a turn to the left and a turn to the right. Use a turn to the right, it's preset for 15 degrees. So as it's a square, we'll set that to 90 degrees. And if you just click on that, you'll just see your cat moves 100 steps and then he'll turn to the right. To get him to move back up straight, we'll just come up to the top here and just pull him around. So for a square, obviously we need to set that for 4, to do that 4 times. And how we do that is we go to Control and we'll grab a repeat and wrap that around it. It's preset for 10, so for a square we'll need it to do 4 times. So we want him to move 100 steps, turn right 90 degrees, and we want to do that 4 times. If we just test that, you'll see he does it, but he does it very quickly. So how we can change that, we'll just make him wait a bit. So we grab a weight and change that to say 0.5, and then we'll just test that one. And there he goes. So it just gives you the outline of actually what he's going to carry out. For the kids to see actually what he's doing and where he's been, what you can do, you can go to the pen column, and what we're going to do is get him to put the pen down before he starts, and if you put a pen down at the end, you have to get him to put a pen up. So you just click on that and test it. Bit of a big line there. So what we can do there, we can straighten him up to start with, and we'll set the pen to say 3. Give that a try. There we go, that should be better. As you can see, it gets a bit of a mess on here, so what we'll simply do is if you go to Control Panel and drag across when space key is pressed, and then if you click on the space and change that to C for clear, and then go to your pen and drag across a clear. This means that every time the C key is pressed, it'll just clear your board and you can start again. So we just try that again with a repeat. That's a bit better there. You can do other things. You can change the colour of the pens. There's quite a few, so you can just get your kids to just try different things. And as we're going to do multiple shapes today, what I can do is we'll, using the same when key pressed, we drag one across those and put that to the top, and we will change that to S for square. So it'll just be a case of every time press S, it'll create a square. Try that again. Yep, and we press C, which will clear. So that's a simple layout for a square. What we can do now is just move on to something like an hexagon. And then, but obviously instead of having to keep putting everything out like that, a simpler way to do it is just to right click on the one that you've created and duplicate it. We'll drop that next to it, and we'll start by creating an hexagon. So if you start from the top where S, if we just change that to H, if I can find it, there we go. We still want him to put the pen down. we're quite happy to set the pen size to 3. This is where we start changing it. So we've got repeat 4. So for an hexagon which is 6 sides, if we just change this to 6, 100 steps, which is going to be quite a big hexagon. We can just smell that down a bit just to 65. And then we have to change the degrees. So obviously the kids can trial and error or work this out themselves. But as for this tutorial, we know it's 60. So if I just change that to 60 and press the H key, you have to click on the stage just to tell it where to go. Click on the H and there's your hexagon. There we go. And press C to clear that. And this is pretty simple for any shapes you're going to do. There'll be, if we just change now to a pentagon, say, so we want to right click, duplicate that, and then we'll change to a pentagon, P. Still want the pen down, we still want the same size pen, but we want it to repeat 5 times for the pentagon. Keep the same size steps if you like, and kids can change that whichever they want to do. And then we just have to change the degrees. Same again, get kids to work that out for it so you can do it. But we know it's 72. And then if we change, press the P key, when you hear that sound it just means you're away from the stage. So click on your stage and then press your P. There's your pentagon. There we go. That's fine. Press your C. The same again, we're just going to continue. This time we'll just do an octagon. So we'll go for a greater size. So we're same again, start from the top. Press the P, change it to O. Still want the pen size. We want it to repeat, so we know how many sides we've got, which is 8. It's a bit bigger size, so if we just change that down to 50, because we want to keep it in the screen, which I'll explain in a minute if you go off the screen, what happens. And then we want to change the degrees for an octagon, which should be 45 degrees. Still want to wait, and if I press O on your stage and press O, we get an octagon. Why I was worried about the size is if you start the cat in the wrong area and it goes off screen, what you'll find, it actually doesn't carry out the total task. So if you keep it to a smaller area, the kids will wonder why it's not worked. It just means it's actually gone off screen, off the stage. So we press C there. Now we're going to move on to a couple of awkward ones. So if we just want to copy this again, we'll just duplicate it, and this time we'll go for a rectangle, so we can get the kids to work out the rectangle sizes. We'll change that to R, we'll start at the top again, and we've got repeat 8 times. Now obviously the difference being now is because the 4 sides are not the same, we've got 2 lengths the same and 2 widths the same. What you can do there, we have to create the 2 things individually, so we want to repeat it 2 times. So it's 2 lengths, 2 widths. We can move the steps, make it a bit larger, so I'll say 1, 2, 0, so it's a bit more viewable. We know the degrees is 90 degrees, so we want to keep that basically the same there. The only thing I have to do now is, because we need to do the width size, so if you go to your motion and this time grab another move step, and we'll do half the size of that, which will make 60. So we're looking at the width sizes now, and same again, you'll have to move 90 degrees. So if you change that to 90, so we're going to repeat 2 times, so we're going to repeat the length twice and with the width twice. So click on the stage, we press R, there's your rectangle. So it's a little bit, oh sorry, what I've not done, I've missed out a weight, that's why it's rushing around at the bottom. So basically the same as each other, and we just change that to 0.5, press clear, there we go. So that's your rectangle sorted. So if we press clear, and the last one I'll do on this tutorial, we're going to go for, which sounds the simplest but isn't, is we'll try a triangle. So you just want to duplicate that. Obviously easier duplicating one of these instead of this big one here. So we'll change the key to a T. We still want the pen down. We'll still set the pen size the same. Obviously we want 3 sides, so we can change that to 3. The size we'll go for 120, make it a bit bigger. So normally you got 180 degrees for a triangle, but if I put that into this now and run the program, you'll see what it does is half an hexagon. So for Scratch in the program, you'll have to start explain about the difference between reflex angles, outside angles, to get him to make a full triangle. So for this project, we'll just change that to 120 and press T. There's your triangle. Just keep your cut straight and press triangle, and that's how it'll come across. But obviously you can explain in the program, in your lesson plan, the reasons behind it. So it's all quite a simple layout. You can copy and duplicate a lot of it. Just get the kids to work out the angles, the steps, the sizes. So a bit of logical thinking, a bit of mathematics with it, and hopefully that'll keep them going. Other thing you can do at the end of it, just a quick one, if you want to just say what you can get to do is at the end of the run of blocks is get the cat to say what the actual shape is. So if I press clear and then go for square, you'll see the cat will pop up and say square. In fact, I spelled that wrong. There we go. Let's try that again. There we go. Hope that's helped you to create some type of lesson plan or give you the first basics of how to use Scratch. The next tutorials I'll cover a lot more to it, as in the stages and the sprites themselves and more movements. What I tend to do at the end now, if you go to File and Save As, if you save it to your desktop and then name it wherever you want to do, so if you put shapes, and that way you know where it is, it's outside the program. If I just minimize this down, you'll see it's there. and what you can do then is move that to other computers. You can actually open it up. There it is. You can open it up, and if you take a print screen, so on your keyboard you'll see a print screen button. If you press that print screen, go to something like Paint, open it up, and then you could do a print off of it, so you could actually just keep that as part of your lesson. Just a bit of advice. Hope you enjoyed this first tutorial, and hopefully we'll get on and get some more done for you. Thanks very much.